I'm finally free. Big Emblem can't keep me down anymore. You know the drill. Another year, another top 10 video. For today's Lucky Mojo top 10 list, we're talking rods, and not just any lanky, pulsating magical healing staves. That's right, today we're counting down the top 10 crotches in Fire Emblem. Let's go! First off, in case you're new here or you've forgotten the rules, we've already talked about racks, convoys, flanks, boots, and pauldrons. And anyone who placed in those lists will not be considered for this one. Look, I know some of the most stunning characters of those realms could easily place here too, but today we're gonna let some others shine.
Gorgeous.
Number 10, Tibarn.
I can hardly control myself.
One of the 5 Legoo's kings, and I guess now you know why. This Phoenician hawk king of tremendous size definitely belongs here. I mean, this guy unified the bird tribes with his Rod of Power. Just don't tell Amazon. They called his weapon in Radiant Dawn Great Talon, but now you know they weren't talking about his claws. Hey man, is that a Legoo's band in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
Whoa, is that how you Bayor greet one another? Gorgeous.
Number 9, Xander.
Down on your knees.
The eldest prince of Nor is usually a model knight, but his summer variant in Heroes definitely chose a side in this conquest. Xander absolutely inherited the family jewels, if you know what I mean. And if Garen managed to land a bunch of concubines, I can only imagine how many this guy will have. Turns out Siegfried just can't be contained by a bathing suit alone. And if you're lucky, maybe you'll even get to see its dragon vein.
If you want victory, seize it with both hands. Gorgeous.
Number 8, Hardin.
Detestable.
From humble coyote to evil dark emperor, I know I can't be the only one that's got a hard-on for Hardin. And his magical Gradivis rod, or lance. Look, let's not get tied up in the minutia of it. The legends foretell that he went mad after his large dark spheres were corrupted by the evil Garnif. If you're lucky, maybe he'll corrupt you too. He might call you Nina though mid-pump, just a forewarning. But that's toxic in a fun way, right?
I'll run you through. Gorgeous.
Number 7, Alfonse.
How about you and I have a little chat?
Spring has definitely sprung for this hunk. While he might have at first seemed like just another blue-haired Marth ripoff spearheading an expanded universe story, there's a little something extra this blue bunny is packing. Quite the carrot, apparently, if his hero's artwork is anything to go by. And best of all, he's willing to go through hell and back for you too. Literally. Just don't bring out his emo side.
It's your turn to dress up like this.
Gorgeous.
Number 6, Dedue.
I will offer you a taste.
Extremely loyal, this dark chocolate Duskrin piece of man fudge will never leave your side. Though Dimitri might have to be there too. But trust me, boy has he sure brought the blue lion to your Fargussi. His green thumb will surely come in handy while tending to your garden too. Just be sure to be careful when unleashing the giant demonic beast lurking within if you aren't prepared. Otherwise, it might just end up a tragedy.
I am not a fan of such humor.
Gorgeous.
Number 5, Eliwood.
You get this.
Not only does this guy have wood in his name, he's also the father of his very own mini-me, which means he sure knows how to use it. It's a canon plot point in his story that he brutally stabs his beloved Ninian with his rod after falling madly in love with her, only for her to be revived later on just so the stabbing can continue after the postgame. How else do you think Roy was made? Just don't ask why they call his the Blazing Blade.
Here's a present from me. Gorgeous.
Number 4, Dozla.
Give me your candy.
Though we haven't gotten his normal form yet in Heroes, this spooky version certainly shows off the treats. And it takes 3 belts to contain this Rostin monster. How else do you think he earned the title of La Rochelle's most loyal servant? Plus, imagine him going all berserk on ya. Hammering that image into your head. I'd definitely call these some sacred stones, am I right?
Rawr.
Gorgeous.
Number 3, Surtr.
Wail louder.
This power-hungry, larger-than-life, and sadistic king of Muspel definitely burns a spot into this list. While his original incarnation hid his massive incendiary rod behind a nice Muspelian crotch piece, when he returned as a salty sea dog, the truth was truly revealed. Turns out he really does carry the blood of the flame dragon, and quite possibly all of it. His conquering of your booty will be harsh and relentless. Of that, we can be certain. There might only be ash left, though, afterwards.
To touch me is to die.
Gorgeous.
Number 2, Ike.
What kind of meat you got?
Ike's Radiant Dawn transformation is more startling than watching a Laguz transform. You might think it's that old piece of junk metal he carries that was blessed by the goddess and grants him his strength, but you'd be wrong. Just how do you think he destroyed Asherah? Well, what does Asherah look like? That's right, one of Fire Emblem's only non-dragon final bosses is a woman. Ike revived a generation by plunging his fleshy Ragnell into her and saving the world. His Crimean justice was powerful enough to slay a god. No wonder why he was asexual during the events of the games. It turned out that no one but a goddess was truly worthy of him. But we can dream, right? And even his far-off future relatives still carry his family grails.
My emblem ring doesn't need constant polishing.
And now for some ridiculous honorable mentions. There's definitely a boatload of other characters that could have made it to this list, and trust me, I considered many of them. But here's the top tier runner-ups in my eyes. Ryoma. He probably could have been on this list. That is, if he wasn't so secretive about his endowment. As it stands, this lobster is cooked. Diazi. I know what you're thinking. Lucky, that's a woman. How could she be on biggest rods? Well, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but this ruthless Jotun has a bigger bulge than most of the male characters in the entire series. Roderick. Rod's in his name, and Rick rhymes with, yeah, you get it. He's still better than Luke. Ike Thurnier. He seems like he's packing, but he might have taken too many steroids to get there. And even though there's a lot of wild misconceptions about such side effects, the truth is, he's on gear and I'm on the brakes. Alm. Everyone talks about loving Fire Emblem Echoes' new art style. Well, you know who doesn't? This guy. Look at his old crotch armor. Look at him now. Look how they massacred my boy. Something tells me they shrunk more than just the armor. Why would he need all that armor if he wasn't stacked? Azama. While he does wield his very own purification rod, the truth is this sharp-tongued, blunt philosopher just hasn't revealed enough to place on this list. Sigurd's horse. We all thought about it, and we all wanted it to be here. But intelligence systems have nerfed this poor equine friend, and there's no rod remaining to speak of. Poor guy. They took his holy blood and stole his leadership stars, too. Yikes.
Gorgeous.
Number 1. So here we are at number 1. I bet you thought I was on some wrist, huh? Like you get through this whole video just to find out that Mr. Elderly Curate from Talus has the ultimate healing rod between his legs. He's wise and experienced and runs an orphanage and has healed thousands with his rod. I bet you think you're so clever for thinking of that one. You think you're onto me? No. No! Warp on out of here and silence yourselves. Why? Because he's old and decrepit and has bad growth rates, and he's not a shower or a grower, okay? I just can't do it. You always think you know, and you're always wrong. The 6th time wasn't the charm. So, hold on to your groins. Number 1, Sakura. Sakura is the only character in the Fire Emblem franchise whose rod is powerful enough to have inspired an in-game item named after it, Sakura's Rod. It may not be the biggest one of all time, but it will go down in history and never be forgotten. Just how many of you out there have used Sakura's Rod? How many have been healed by Sakura's Rod? I know I have. If the dinky staff named in its honor can heal you for 7 to 10 HP, I can only imagine what the real thing will do. It all makes sense now why she wasn't blood related to Makoto. Sakura brings something quite a bit more special to the Hoshidan lineage, if you know what I'm saying. And she wants you to be her new retainer. Well, that's it for this loin-tenderizing top 10 list. If you think I missed a waifu or a husbando, you can definitely let me know in the comments section down below. But just know that for the 6th year, you still have trash taste. Waifus for Laifu. Subscribe to Lucky Mojo. Only those with the best rods hit that subscribe button. Peace.
All your waifu are belong to me now.